Hi guys, thank you so much for stopping by. It's Vesna here. Today we're doing a spring themed DIY. So to start, I'm just starting off with a scrap piece of wood. You could do a little plank or a cutting board from the Dollar Tree. The cutting boards are quite hard to nail down, so like to nail in, so just be aware of that. So I'm just using a scrap piece of wood and I drew an outline of a vase. So this is a super easy and fun DIY. So what I'm doing is I'm just nailing in a few nails into my outline, and I'm going to make basically an outline with nails of a vase. And like I said, you could use any kind of wood, even a cutting board would do, but I tried using one of those bamboo cutting boards and I just had a really hard time getting the nails in and I wound up cracking the board. So, but I am just using whatever nails I have on hand. Some of them are a little bit thicker. So if you go out and buy thinner nails, it might be a little bit easier. I just didn't want to go out and buy things because I'm trying really hard not to buy any supplies and just go through everything that I have because I've just it's gotten out of hand. So anyway, I'm just nailing them down and there isn't, at least for me, there isn't a set rule of how much I'm putting down. I'm just making sure that I'm even on both sides. And you do want to make sure that the nails are sticking up quite a bit. I mean, they're in there firmly, but you want to have like quite a bit at the top because I am going to be using a rope to finish off my design. You'll see what I mean. So you want to make sure you have room to wrap the rope around. So I go ahead and I do that. And the rope is actually just some twine that I'm using, and it's just the thinner twine. And you can use colorful or any kind that you want. And the nice thing with this is you could do, like I freehand drew everything, and you could do any kind of shape that you wanted for this. I just did like a basic vase shape because it's spring and I wanted this to be a fun little spring DIY. And like I said, you could do any kind of shape. You could even do a flower if you wanted to. So I go ahead and I finish that, and then I get my rope or my twine out and I attach one piece to one of the nails and I just tie it and then I cut off the excess and then I just randomly wrap them around each nail, and there is no set pattern. I just kind of do a random pattern, just fill it in as until I like the way it looks. So this will really depend on what look you're going for and what you want it to look like. For me, I just kept on doing it until I got the look that I was going for. I didn't really have a plan of what look I wanted. Okay, this is what I want. And usually when I do any of my DIYs, I kind of do that on the fly. I start doing it. I have an idea and then I continue doing it until I get the look that I like. once I finished off my design, I tied it up at the end so that it wouldn't come off, and then I added some fake flowers, some faux flowers, just these lavender sprigs in here. Now, once we've got a dumping of snow, once the snow is gone, and I do have some fresh flowers, I'll put some flowers in that dry nicely, and I could have some fresh flowers in there for the year that dry nicely, and I could have it for the season actually. So, but for now, my faux flowers will do. So that's all there is to this DIY, and I think it turned out really cute. And you can hang it up, you could put it on a tray, you can make it bigger or smaller, whatever you'd like. But here's a cute little idea and very inexpensive to make, and I think it turned out really cute. Let me know what you guys think of this one. So for this next one, another super easy DIY. I still have some of these calendars left over, so I thought I'd use the spring pages from them that I haven't used yet and make my vases. So I'm just using March, April, I think in May from these, and I'm going to be making little cone vases out of these. Obviously you can't use them for water, but they are just for your faux flowers. And like I said, because we have a dumping of snow, I can't really go into my garden and get some spring flowers, and they're still a little bit pricey at the store to get them, and I haven't even seen too many spring bulbs yet. So my faux flowers will have to do, and I do love to bring them out kind of middle of February just because it's so gloomy, and then like right after Valentine's Day I like to spring up my house because it makes me happy and it makes my house feel like, warmer weather is coming, because February and January are really harsh months here. And then even March is nice, but March we tend to get a lot of the freezing rain and all that stuff. So anyway, I'm cutting these off into kind of like triangle shapes, but I thought I would make the first one, I thought I would make like a actual triangle, and then I realized that if I just cut off the edges and the part where there's a little hole, that's enough. So that's what I wind up doing. And one of them I actually just played around with not cutting it at all. So you'll see me doing that. And basically all I do is, like I said, I cut off the edges that don't look as nice and cut off the corners to make it kind of like a triangle. And then I add hot glue to the edges to make it into a cone. And I attach some jute rope at the very top so that you can hang these if you wanted to. I will speed it up a little bit and I'll put on some music and you enjoy it. And if you have any questions, you make sure you leave those questions in the comments below. So once I get my shapes, I mean my cones made and my jute rope attached, I even used, as you can see, the little piece that was left over so that I wouldn't waste any of the paper. I go ahead and I just place some of my spring sprigs that I have in the cones, and I that's all there is to it. Really easy, and again, this is something that you could use dried flowers for as well if you have some, or once if you're able to get some from your garden. But for now, this is all I have here, so this is what I'll be using, but this is what it looks like. I think it turned out really, really cute. I love them, and a great use of these papers. Let me know what you think. And if it's something that you would like to recreate, it's basically free. And if you don't have the calendar pages, you can always print off a page from the internet of your to your liking. Okay, so the next DIY is another super easy one. I have these plastic containers from the Dollar Tree that I got a few years ago, and I wanted to use this one, but I wanted to kind of make it a little bit more kind of shabby chic, I guess. So what I'm doing is I'm using some of my linen white from Rust-Oleum. It's the chalk paint, and I am just dabbing on a little bit on to a paper towel, and then I'm just basically wiping it onto the plastic container to give it kind of like a wash finish. Now you can do this with a terracotta pot too. I just didn't have any on hand, or I couldn't. I know I have some actually. I just couldn't find them. I did recently redid some things in my craft room, and I moved some of my pots, and I don't remember where I put them. Moved them out of my craft room, but I don't know where I put them. So I think they're in a little cupboard in my storage where all of my Christmas stuff is, because I thought, oh, I'm not going to need them until the spring, and now it's the spring, and I couldn't get at them. So anyway, but I didn't know if I wanted to use those anyway, so I wanted to use this one. But this is the look anyway, even if you did a terracotta one. I wanted to use the plastic one because if I decide to put a real bulb in there, not a fake one, this holds a little bit better than a terracotta, then it won't leak the water out. And so anyway, I'm just, like I said, I'm just washing it off there. I mean, dabbing it on there so to give it like a washed look. And once that dries, then I have a tulip, like a tulip, faux tulip that I have. And I have it's a pumpkin, it's a faux pumpkin from a fall DIY that I had. Not DIY, from a fall craft, like from a fall haul that I got from the Dollar Tree. My goodness, I can't talk. So anyway, so I am creating kind of like a bulb, a tulip on a bulb type of thing. So as you can see here, so what I'm going to do is just cut off the bottoms of the tulips to separate them. And then I'm going to just stick them into this pumpkin so that it looks like it's the bulb of the tulip and the tulips are coming out. And they're going to go into this terracotta pot. And I will be just putting some tissue paper into the pot with some of this deer moss or some of this moss on top, not deer moss, some of this moss on top. And I'll just spray a little bit of the tacky glue just to keep the moss from spilling everywhere. You could put a few rocks into this pot too, just because it's very light. I didn't, but you can do that so that it doesn't fall down on you. But anyway, this is another super easy, inexpensive one for you to do, and it's just a cute little spring DIY for your tray. If you do a tier tray, or even if you do like a little coffee station or anything like that, just like a little pop of spring. So let me know what you think of this one. I'll show you what it looks like all completed. I think it turned out super cute, really fun and easy DIY. So for the next DIY, it's my very last one. It's probably one of my favorite ones. It's very easy again. I'm just upcycling this glass vase. I have a whole bunch of these left over. I, I don't know where they're from. They're from something. I had bought them a whole bunch of them. They're from the dollar store, but I've had them for years. So anyway, I'm going to make it look kind of like it's a stone vase. So what I'm doing first is I'm wiping it down, making it nice and clean, and then I'm going to paint it with my linen white from Rust-Oleum. It's a chalk paint, and I'm just doing that to give it a base layer. And once that's nice and dry, I'm going to add this cashmere acrylic paint to a little bowl with some baking soda to make it a nice thick paint. And I'm going to paint half of this bottle with this mixture. And I'm not going to paint it fully like where I'm doing a full coverage. I'm more kind of dabbing it on and lightly painting it. You don't want to do like a full, like trying to do a full coverage because the paint will come off of the glass just because of how it adheres to the glass. And you can see I didn't do full coverage with the vase either. I just did a very light coverage with the white. I just wanted it to have some sort of base at the bottom. And I do this with the whole vase. I wind up having to add a little bit more of the baking soda. Usually I do um, about a teaspoon of baking soda to about, I don't know, I want to say like 3 teaspoons of paint. Basically, I just need it to be kind of the consistency of like a thicker paste is what you want it to be. And I do this for the whole vase at the bottom. And then for the top, I do that as well with a different paint. And I'm not too worried about having a straight line where the two colors meet. I kind of want them to blend together. So as you can see, I'm not too worried. I didn't do a painter's tape or anything like that to make a nice clean line. And I am using, as you saw, a warm white. And again, I didn't use a different bowl, so I kind of used the other bowl so the paints would mix. I wanted it to have a little touch of the cashmere left behind. If you wanted more of a clean white look, obviously use a different bowl. I wanted it to have that blending effect. And I just love the way it turned out. So let me know what you think. I think it's a perfect little addition to my spring decor. I put some ferns in there. So here is the completed look. I just love the texture on the vase. I think it turned out really, really nice. And as you can see, the coverage is very like vintagey and it looks almost like handmade, old, and very rustic looking. So let me know what you think. I love the way it turned out. Let me know what you think of all of these. Leave me a comment below. Thank you for stopping by. Thanks for watching. I am really excited about spring. I love decorating for spring. I love summer, so it makes me happy and look forward to has me look forward to nice things to come. So thanks for watching. Leave me a comment below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I get new videos. Thanks and have a great day. Stay safe.